Good day, YouTube. It is the 30th of November, 2023. This is my 1955 Cushman Truckster. This is the ultimate pit vehicle, racetrack pit vehicle project that we're working on. I think this is the 5th episode. And I've been doing some work on it without the cameras rolling, but let me bring you up to speed what we got done thus far. If you haven't seen the other videos, everything is in a playlist called 55 Cushman Truckster, and the videos go clear back to when I got this around 10 years ago or so. I can't really remember. So we have these. This is all going to get covered in aluminum. I picked up the aluminum 2 days ago, so I am not quite ready to put the body on this thing, but we are getting closer, and I have a little more gumption to get it ready, since how I have the skin in stock for it. So let's talk about skin for a second. We're obviously going to cover the roof. You see I've bent those arches, and we are going to cover the roof. And this is exactly 48 inches from front to rear, because I got 4 by 10 foot sheets of aluminum. Okay, so they'll come all the way to this edge, and you can see I've created this drip rail here. These are going to have lights in them, a lot of lights, and will come down on this drip rail enough to where I can get a rivet in this end. So as the rivet goes through, you'll be able to see the other end, but what are you going to do? Oh, actually, no, I was going to rivet up here. Never mind. Excuse me. Back up. I'm going to rivet above this point so you don't see the rivets. Yeah, sorry. So anyway, that's going to be the top skin. That rattles. Need to put a tack weld on it. Duly noted. Then we're going to skin the doors. I got to put one more center support on all 4 sides. So on this door, on the front, which is non-opening, on the rear that is opening, and then of course on the other side. Gives something for the aluminum skin to attach to. So that will be this door. This piece here will not have a skin. I will weld these holes shut, and that will be coming up very, very soon, I hope. So opening the doors, I let them open over center because of the height. I want to be able to stand under it, so that'll shield you from the sun, etc. This is drop down work surface. I got to do a little bit of grind in here because I welded these before I put this wood in here, and I got to grind those so that these things lay flat. I mocked these up yesterday. It's going to be a good place to plug in a tool, and it's got a couple USB charge ports in it, so if nothing else, you're sitting around for a couple hours working on somebody's race car or whatever, and at least you can charge your phone or tablet or devices and such. This is going to have a Group 27 deep cycle battery in it to run all of this. It's going to have a separate battery to start the engine and so forth. They'll be completely separated systems. Attached to the Group 27 deep cycle battery will be a 2,000 watt inverter, and everything will run on the inverter. I'll also have a 600 watt Honda generator. I've done some other videos on those, and the purpose of that generator would be, well, it could provide power, yes, but mostly to recharge that battery. Let's let everything run on the inverter and leave it that way. So let's go around back, show you the drawer, because I just got this wood done yesterday, and yeah, I think it looks good. The drawer, it has a bed slide that we built in, I think it's episode 3, I believe. Opens the tailgate. Not really sure how these are supposed to go. I'll have to figure it out eventually. I don't know. Let's try that. Anyway, this has a draw out tailgate or draw out bed slide for tools and such. Okay. The idea is everything in here is going to be in boxes. A small example would be this solder gun kit. We'll put some wire and some terminals and stuff in here, or in another box similar to this. Socket set, maybe a port of power, things like that. We'll sit in here and just ride around. When you need them, you just draw this out, grab the box, and go. We need rivets and rivet tools and stuff for body panels and stuff like that. So we'll be coming up with other storage boxes, small tool boxes, that kind of thing, for that. Let's figure that out. So this is the rear door. Okay. Lots and lots of lights on this thing. There's going to be a rear bumper on this thing. The rear bumper is going to allow one or two people to stand, and yesterday I mounted this handle. It's a grab handle for people to hang on to if they're riding on the back. This handle is off of the end of my toolbox right there when I put that end box on. This thing was kicking around in the drawer. It had been in the drawer since it was new. Yeah, nice and sturdy. So I actually put a nutsert in this piece of steel. It's all welded on. It's well mounted. It's in good shape. That rear bumper I just mentioned is going to house a jack. So I bought that Harbor Freight 1.5 ton. They call it a racing jack, aluminum jack, right there in that box. So this is going to be the jack. It's going to be contained in the bumper. So you'll be able to stand on the top of the bumper. Probably going to support it through that stake pocket. There'll be this gap for the jack to slide in and the handle to come up right there. And hopefully some way quick to get it in and out. Haven't figured out fenders yet. What was I going to show you next? Oh yeah, the idea, what I'm trying to maintain is either the bumper needs to come out enough to support a couple gas cans. So in the event that a race goes like 100 laps, most of the cars, especially ones that run methanol, only are good for 50-60 laps. So they stop the race at 50 laps and allow the folks to refuel their cars on the track, which means you have to pack those fuel cans out to the car. So they're like 11, 12 gallon cans or something. So that's like 90 pounds, 100 pounds probably. So I could either support it off the tailgate and tie it back, or support it off the bumper. I think I'll make the bumper big enough to put 2 of the round fuel cans, and the ability to strap them down here. 1, 2. Strap them down so this can go out onto the track and fuel up a race car, a race team that we're helping out, or some random team that needs a hand. That's all we're here for, just to give a hand. The other thing is I want to leave this back big enough, if at all possible, to put a tire in here. So a race tire, needs to be, yay big, and I want to be able to fit in here and shut this lid. Gonna have to come up with a way to lock these down. Right now they're on magnets, which is great, but for transportation and if I'm really hauling something, need to be able to lock them down. Thinking of a couple ideas. We'll get there. No problem. So that's some of the things we're looking out for. Now that I have it this far, I told you about the metal we still have to add. I still have to finish fully welding this and weld up all the ends of the square tube. But we got to build some stuff in here. There has to be room for everything. So on the front, once we get the skin on the outside, obviously a center support here, we're going to put wood going across from left to right. All kinds of electrical controls and fuse box and everything's going to go in there. But inside of here, we have a lot of things to put in. We have a battery for the vehicle. We have a deep cycle battery. We have a generator and a compressor. So this is a lot of stuff. And I'm not sure how we're going to fit it all in here. I really am not. Today's the day to mock this stuff up. And right off the bat, that compressor is huge. You know, I have a different compressor upstairs. I may go up and get that one. This one's kind of fat-bellied and takes up a lot of space. Really more than I wanted it to. I don't think it'll fit in the drawer either. Okay, that one fits much better, but it is half the compressor as the other one. Literally CFM and the volume of the tank, etc. But it all has to fit. When you start gathering up parts for stuff like this, you don't always remember just how small this space is. All right, let's mock up some other things. So I had this big hose reel I picked up on Marketplace for 35 bucks, but it is huge and heavy. And again, I kind of overthought how big the space was. So I just got back from Harbor Freight and I picked this one up. It's a manual one, but it's physically way smaller. It's a third the size and it's a third the weight. And the idea was to hang this from the ceiling in there, keeping it out of the way and make it easy to use. Let me get that out of the box. All right, I got that mocked up there. I think that's going to work out really good. It's going to come down just a little bit. I think I'll just make a plate for it and weld some studs on it. Weld it up there, and that'll be good. It's up there out of the way. Now then, a cord reel, a light reel. All right, I think what we'll do with the cord reel is take this bracket off here and just bolt it in place up here, right there. Okay, a couple bolts, a couple nut certs, should be good to go. All right, so that mocks these things up. I think that's pretty good. Now batteries are the other big things that probably got to sit on the deck. So let's grab a battery box. All right, now we have to make a little room. So what do you think? Compressor over here. This battery here. It's going to connect to stuff on this wall. Man, I'd like to mock that wall up. And then a generator. Dang. It's getting full, isn't it? It's getting full. But we're getting there. Alright. Got the generator sitting in. I do not have room for the battery box. I made room for the battery. I moved that outlet to the rear a little bit to make room for the starting battery. So it always takes up more room than we think. I was sure hoping to get a tire in here, you know, and be able to shut the door. Not sure that that's going to happen now, but I don't have one to set in here either. But it's a rare occasion that that would happen. We can always leave this back door open and have a means to like put a strap across there so it doesn't fall out on the track. So exhaust is there. I've just changed my plan a little bit for doing this front to give myself just a couple more inches of space, in that I think I will not put a metal support from here down and then skin the steel. I think I'll put a piece of plywood on this front, okay, up and around the arch, piece of plywood, right, or wood or something, wood, because I got to mount a lot of things to this side and all the wiring, everything, fuse box, flasher unit, the inverter, power distribution. All kinds of stuff has to go on this front wall. No way around it. So if I just put a plywood here and then aluminum sheet the front of the plywood, or even just paint the plywood, that gains me 1.5 inches, and I can move everything forward 1.5 inches. That compressor is already in that space because it's the big thing. So I think we'll do that. So pretty good effort getting this mocked up. You know, I was concerned that nothing would fit, but I need all this stuff. This is a minimum, but this is everything big and heavy. Big and heavy. But it also looks like weight-wise we're not squatting this thing or anything. This thing was good for like 1,000 pounds, and you know, with me on it and all the stuff in there, we're pretty close to that. But I think it has shocks on it, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it will have. It might need a little suspension boost before we're said and done with this thing. So I think it's time to start making the little brackets and stuff to get this stuff installed. The hose reel, great spot for it. It's going to be manual, so we'll have to wind it. Oh, good thinking, Glenn. Is where's the winder? It's not going to be on that side. It's going to be on this side. So I got the cord reel going here, and that'll be in the way of winding up the hose reel. The hose reel has a lock on it, by the way. I didn't know that, and that's excellent for this. Excellent. I may think about moving the cord reel forward or something. Anyway, because I didn't want it close to here, because I got to be able to wind this thing up. Okay. That's why you mock stuff up, guys. That's why you mock stuff up. To make mistakes and change anything. And then when it's all said and done, we've got to figure out a means to hold all this stuff from moving around. So, yeah, it's going to be long eye bolts and bungees or something anyway. But anyway, it all fits. Not a big deal to reach in here, start the generator, and 12-volt wiring back. We might cover the positive terminals of the batteries with something so we don't have issues there. Okay. Like it so far. I'm going to get to work. I'll bring you back when I got something done. For the cord reel mount, I'm going to make a plate like this, and I'm going to weld studs on it so that I can weld the plate in place, and then with 4 nuts put this over the plate. So I took this piece of 1/8 inch plate and cut a corner out, just kind of ground it nice and smooth. I've got 3 of the 4 bolts welded, studs welded there. Let's weld the last one, and then we'll weld it in place. Bolts are kind of hard to weld because you got to change angles so much. So. Right. I'll get it fit in place, cool it off. It's raining outside, plenty of water to cool it off. All right, we got the air hose mounted. We just put 1 nut on it for the moment. Now we're working on the cord reel, light reel cord reel. It's got an outlet on it. It's gonna do both. So I've got the bracket over there, and we're going to drill a couple holes, and I think we'll use nut certs and bolt that in place with a couple 1/4 20s. I got my nut cert tool loaded with the 1/4 20 nut cert, or rivet nut, whatever you want to call it. I have them marked on one of my organizers as to what size drill bit that it needs. So a 1/4 20 nut cert is a 3/8 drill bit. This is my quick reference guide. So these are the 1/4 20s. So let's drill a 3/8 hole. I've got unibit in the drill, and then I put tape on the unibit so I know where to stop the last step on the bit. is where to stop. So we'll drill those out, put the rivet nuts in, and bolt it in place. Cool. It's in a weird spot, but we'll move it. Let me extend that. I drilled it with like an 1/8 inch bit already, so that's why it went so easy. Stop. Alright. Drilling through both sides, make sure that they line up, you know what I mean? Otherwise, I'm not that dang accurate. Whoa, what happened to my thing there? The camera fell. Sorry. You know, if every subscriber I have would watch the channel, I could hire a camera person. But we can't. But they're not very even, are they? Oh well. Yeah. Gotta set it. And I forgot. Number 2. Get a couple bolts and some washes. Alright, let's tighten that up. Got some bolts in it. Lock washes on the blind. I'm blind here. Let me put this thing back up on it now. Alright, it is mounted and it is sturdy. Sturdy. I don't have it completely tightened. I mean really tight on the screws because it's just got to come off when I finish and get this thing, the framework, ready to paint. So it's just about a 1/2 inch down from the ceiling there, maybe an inch. Trying to get everything up as high as I can. Oh yeah. They're as high as they can be. So that's awesome, because I still have plenty of room in here. Obviously the rest of those pieces of equipment still need to go in, but we're looking good, looking good. All right, I need to move on to probably cutting this steel and putting it in. I'm glad I mocked this up because now I'm not going to put the other steel support in the center on the front. We're going to do plywood on the front. That's going to give us all the way out to this plane here instead of this plane in here, picking up 1.5 inches or more. So that's good. We'll do that. So I need to do this one in that door, and the back door, and the side door. And I think that's all the steel I need to cut. We'll get those in intact, and then we got to go through this whole thing and weld it and grind it. Okay. The wood is all just sitting here. It's not fastened in because we'll have to pull it. We got to, grind these welds and get this whole steel structure ready to paint. So we'll have to kind of disassemble it. To do that, we'll pull it off the Truckster, get everything prepped and painted. Just going to use Rust-Oleum. I think we'll do white from the bed rails up. Not really sure what we'll do with the rest of it. I'm thinking red. I'm thinking red. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll kind of go from there. All right, here we go. All right, guys and gals, progress has been made. I've been welding caps on the end of everything, getting things kind of dressed up a bit. Okay, so that looks much better. I see I have one left to grind here on that door. But anyway, we're getting these done. And I put eye bolts in on 4 corners. That's so I can lift this off. So I have my little overhead winch in there and the lights. We're going to actually redo this to make it a little more heavy duty, but I want to be able to lift this on and off. This is on a trolley. We got to fix maybe tomorrow. Anyway, eye bolts on all 4 corners so we can get this off of there. And I need to put the caps and such on the other side. To do that, I want to turn this around. So this is interesting because I haven't actually driven this since I first got this. I haven't driven this since before I had this YouTube channel, and I turned some of my early videos into YouTube videos of this driving. So before I was doing YouTube, I had this, and that's the last time I've driven this. So I just put a battery in it. We got it running again, which all it took was put gas in it and go, because I had drained the fuel out. So I think we're gonna fire it up, back it out of here, and then back it in, so the other side will be where I have a little more room. Let me throw you in a stand and see if it goes under its own power again. Now, these clutches are so different that I didn't understand it when I first got it. I actually took the motor out of this thing twice because I couldn't get the clutch to work. The thing of it is, the clutch was working. I just didn't know how it worked. So it has a clutch pedal. You push the clutch pedal in, you can put it in gear. You let the clutch pedal out and it won't go anywhere until you hit the gas. It has a centrifugal clutch on top of this clutch. So until the engine winds up a little bit, it doesn't go anywhere. As soon as you wind the engine up a little bit, it goes. And that's pretty cool. So I got to kind of remember how to do that. And I think she'll drive out of here under its own power, and it'll back in under its own power. Here we go. This will be interesting. runs and drives. Alright, I need to clean up this mess a little bit while I'm letting all my heat out. And I'll be right back. Wonder if she's got enough to back up on the lift by itself. I gotta come over just a little bit, don't I? Chokage. Might have fallen off. Not too bad. Alright, we'll get ready to do the rest. Alright guys, it's next morning, Saturday morning. It's a rainy day. Had to do Christmas music downtown last night. Went pretty good, didn't even get that wet. Very much successful. So this morning I've been making plugs for all the square tube and getting them tacked in there. It's gonna take a lot of grinding and such. I gotta make 4 more to get all these welded up. Got those welded up, but I gotta get these ends, 2 of them there, 2 of them here. So I was over here at the bench cutting them out. I just thought I'd show you how I do it. Basically I'm just using scrap tubing and cutting it up. So I figured out how long it needs to be and then cut it on the evolution saw. And now I'm cutting these right at the 45 actually, and then we'll grind them square and then we'll fit them to each spot individually. So put you on the stand, show you what I'm doing. Oop. Had to go get my gloves. Gloves and safety glasses, guys. Don't be stupid. You only get 1 pair of eyes. Now then, I'm going to stick the grinder in the vise and get them squared up. Well, that's how I roll. I plug the grinder into, I put the switch on, plug it into a plug strip, turn the plug strip on, which turns my light on also, and then we'll grind on these things, get them square and get the burrs off. They still need to be fitted, but we'll get these done. Sometimes they get pretty hot to hang on to, so I'll set it down, go to the next one, let it cool off, and we'll come back to it and finish it up. So here we go. Finishing. Alright, so now we got to fit it to the hole. And sometimes there's a little weld in there, whatever. You got to make a little clearance for them. Where'd I put them? I did bring them over, didn't I? Didn't I? Jeez. Found them. They blended. They blended. Alright, pick one, any one. I got this magnet that works pretty good for fitting it. This one will do pretty good. I gotta just file that inside edge there a little bit. Just file it down. Gonna take a little off one side. I'll take a little more off, make it fit a little better. There we go. A little more, something up here. Okay. That'll work. Usually I'd get all these prepped and get them all so I could weld them at one time, but for you guys, I'll show you. I'll show you. Get my helmet on. Turn it on. Okay, I moved this down a little bit. I put a little clamp on there so this thing isn't moving around on me. We'll get it welded. Now this stuff's really thin. We're welding on the end, so this is kind of a fine little stitch weld process here. Take your time. Take your time. Kind of did circle welds right there because I got 3 joints coming together. Alright, there we go. Now just for you, we'll grind that. Okay. Switching from helmet to safety glasses. Maybe you want to be over here. Out of harm's way. Are you good with that? You're not going to be able to see much because we've got to grind it, but hey. At least we'll see the process. finish this up and show you finish. All right, here it is. Nearly finished product. When I get ready to paint this, I'll hit this whole thing with a flapper wheel and wire brush and etc. But anyway, there is a finished corner. I only have to do that a million more times. I actually got the other side mostly done. I have a little more welding to do over there, a little more grinding to do. This will be a long day of welding and grinding and finishing and such, but it's going to be a pretty good day. I'm going to get pretty close to done with the welding portion, the fabricating portion. So I think I showed you yesterday of putting eye bolts on the four corners so I could lift this off. And once we get it 100% welded and grinded, we'll prep it for paint. We'll get it painted. Probably going to be white Rust-Oleum. The aluminum I have is white, and then we'll be able to start putting it together. That would be cool. I still need to be able to lift it on and off the Cushman, because obviously the Cushman's far from ready to paint. But here we go. All right, I'm going to get to work. It's going to be a long day, but this is the result. All right, guys, that is most of the welding, or all the welding. I think I got it all done. Unless I come up with something else to do or find something that I missed, but for the most part, I think we're good to go. I got the this side, put the nutserts in for the eye bolts again, so I can lift it off. And then who knows? I can either take them off and then just put a bolt in if I don't like the look. On the other hand, it might come in handy for something. I don't know what, but it might come in handy for something, you know, awning, or I'm just thinking out loud. So, but anyway, they don't look great, so we might take those off and put bolts in. But I will need them in place to get this thing off there so we can clean it up and paint it. So, kind of dreaming the rest of it. Again, I'm going to do plywood in front all the way up and around the roof. This needs to look like a C cab. If you've watched all the videos, you know that my concept was a kind of a C cab look. So, and I'm going to do that out of wood. It's so much easier to do. But I'm going to make it thick, like this thick. So this is going to be plywood out to, you know, 3/4 inch or whatever I can get, 3/4 plywood. And then this is going to be an attachment. But I want to be able to bore through here because all my electrical is going to be on this side. And I want to use the inside of both of them. There'll be one on each side. For things like switches and stuff. It's something I can reach over and flip switches for the lights and stuff. I can use the board behind, but you can't see it and you can't do it while you're on it. I've also got a radio for an ATV, so I need to find a spot for that. That could maybe be on the back wall, or maybe I could put it up here on the handlebars. I think I've found a headlight bucket and a LED headlight with turn signals and such in it, with a running light and things. So that mounts this way. Obviously we're not going to use that. It was a little difficult to find, but I had time last night as I was doing music downtown, and spent a lot of time on my phone hunting for things, and I believe I found it. It's in my shopping cart. I'll verify it here in a day or two and get it coming so that I have that. But I am pretty happy that I have this done. It's kind of been a long, some of it's not the most fun, not the most accurate, but gaps and such are looking pretty good actually, so I have to be happy with that. My Evolution saw was really a game changer. If you guys haven't never used one, pretty cool. Being able to cut this accurately so quickly, it's just really helped. So I think we're going to end this video here, and I'll doing some miscellaneous. I'll probably pull the cord reel and the hose reel back off. They're mostly just sitting there, and get this thing cleaned up and ready for paint. Then I can start building it. That'd be cool. I know I'm kind of letting the rest of the rig go, but I kind of work on what I want to work on, and I want to work on that. I really want to start wiring up, putting all the lights in and stuff. So, but got to get it more done before I can do that. I think I may put latches here, like, you know, this is the fold down bench, but I put one of those just slide latches in, right? Just drill a hole here so that it stays upright. I will end up putting latches on the 3 doors eventually. I'm just not exactly sure what that looks like, but we got to get them cleaned up and painted, and then those things can go on with screws, or worst case we grind a little paint off and tack weld them on or something. We'll figure that out as we go. But yeah, good progress guys. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate that. If any comments, suggestions, or so forth, put that in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the morning. Every morning I review comments and respond appropriately. I don't miss any of them, so please do that. And thumbs up on the way out. Recommend this video series to others. This is all going to be in a playlist called 1955 Cushman. The videos go all the way back to even before I did YouTube. Some videos I did when I first acquired this vehicle. So pretty cool, guys. Thanks for watching again. We'll catch you on the next video.